Hey, welcome to Military Journeymen. My name is Julian Miyata, and this channel is all about giving you the best military tips and money-saving advice. So consider subscribing so you can keep up to date. This video, I'm going to be just looking into Coast Guard the video itself is called The Inside Look at Coast Guard Bootcamp in Cape May. Came out about a year ago. The company that went through was 194, and I graduated almost 5 years ago. January is going to be my 5-year mark, but I graduated Juliet 189. So I kind of wanted to see, if there's some similarities in how boot camp is, if anything really major has changed. But I'm not going to ramble too much. Let's just jump right into the video. It's all pretty the same so far.
Cape May welcomes you to Coast Guard Bootcamp. Not exactly a vacation at the beach.
It's not a vacation at the beach, guys. You do get to go to the beach once.
Perched on a peninsula just
you go to the beach, or at least our company went when we received our flag, our pendant, or no, guidon, our guidon, or not the guidon. When we received our colors, we went to the beach. It's been a little while, but when you receive your colors, your company colors, you go to the beach and they beat you, they make you do push-ups, stuff like that, and then they give you a speech saying, this is your office, and then you turn around and then you have your colors and you're like, yeah, and then you run. They're like, go get your colors, and then you cheer, and then you're excited, and then you sing some cadences, and it's like a climactic day, I guess.
East of the Lobster House restaurant and fleet of commercial fishing boats on the harbor stands Training Center, Cape May.
Every training center, it seems like, has the Coast Guard water tower, and I think it looks the same from all the training centers that I've been to. They've all.
This is where young men and women are transformed into Coast Guardsmen.
Nobody has glasses on for some reason. Or maybe they ran out. I don't know.
Every enlisted recruit to this branch of the military from across the United States experience an intense 8-week basic training. In other words, you're not in the Coast Guard until you've passed through Cape May.
Recruit Dockenbaugh, Upper Sandusky, Ohio.
Recruit Olson, Zephyr Hills, Florida. Recruit Glenn.
This video came out about a year ago, so these
Seaman Recruit Wilford.
they're probably all still waiting for a school, honestly.
Alabama.
Our core duties are search and rescue.
So these cutters are actually at Cape May, and towards the end of your time there, you get to take a tour of them. We actually didn't get to go on any of the cutters, but we went into the small boat station, because there's a small boat station there, and we got to get a tour of the watch floor, just kind of see what the station life was like. And if you're lucky, you get to get stationed in Cape May from boot camp, which means you don't get any travel leave. You can take your leave. You get, when you graduate from boot camp, I think they give you like 5 days, because you get 2.5 days a month for leave. So when you go there, you get 5 days of leave, but they don't give you any travel leave. So essentially, like, if you get stationed there, if you don't take any leave, you just show up to work the next day. It kind of sucks, but
Law enforcement and national defense, but we do a lot of other things. So aids to navigation, environmental protection. We actually have 11 different statutory missions that we perform.
Recruits are in their second day of the program. It begins here at the medical clinic, where all health issues and vaccines.
At the medical, it's probably one of the best places you can be. There's no CCs. The HSs and the medical staff are like super nice to you. It was almost like going to chapel. Like, it was like the time where you could de-stress. And I know some of you might be like, I don't like medical, or I don't like shots or stuff like that. But it's like, you're in such a high stress environment. When you step into there, it's just like quiet and relaxed. Nobody's yelling. It's really nice.
Are addressed.
All right, go ahead and take the pills. You're all set. Grab some gauze and a bandage.
That guy looks traumatized.
Much of the instruction happens in the classroom, but there's also practice.
That woman, the black woman with the white clothes, she was actually there when I went, and I think she's been there for like 15 years or something. I remember she was saying like, oh yeah, I've been here for a long time, but she's probably still gonna be there if you end up going, or if you've been there. She's there, and they're actually using computers. You get to use computers to I guess you have to sign up for things, and then you kind of get familiar with I think the applications that you might use, but you can actually receive emails. Do not let I would suggest that your family not email you, but funny story, I actually received like a welcome aboard letter email from my station before I actually knew where I was going. So because when they give you your orders, they make it like a ritual, and you like ring a bell, and you know they're like, you're going to this place. But when we were in the computer room, I checked the email just because and I got the welcome aboard from there. So I was like, oh well, now I know where I'm going. But your parents could technically, or anybody could technically email you. But yeah, don't let them email you.
Practical training, hands-on experiences, including the firefighter school. Here, they're preparing to experience and fight a simulated fire.
I actually really enjoyed this. It was kind of cool.
Sense of urgency, imagine your cutter's on fire. It's not a real fire, there's no heat involved, but we try to replicate the environment as best we possibly can using smokes machines and other things that would disorient somebody normally in those types of scenarios. Reduce lighting, all that kind of stuff. Straight training!
From fire to water. Second week recruits are required to swim 100 meters in front crawl, breaststroke, or side stroke.
This was actually one of my favorite parts about boot camp. I loved being in the pool, because if you didn't already know, I was training to become a rescue swimmer. So I spent a lot of time in the pool before I went to boot camp, and it was just like, when you get in the pool, it's like so different, because usually you are doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and those are the types of workouts that you do, cycling, running. But I was like, it felt nice to get in the pool, because it's like there's no CCs like yelling at you, and you're just swimming. Sometimes we did like sprints and stuff, but the sprints are really short. They're like not even a 25 meter. It's like, you know, just like from one end of the pool to the other. But the pool is really nice. You know, I enjoy
able
it.
to tread water for 5 minutes.
If you can't swim, you get to go to remedial swimming, where you wake up like an hour early every day. I think you only do it maybe like 3 times a week or 2 times a week. But you go to remedial swim, and you just kind of ASTs, I believe, they actually teach you how to swim better, so you can pass your end of swim assessment.
Pass this part of the training. Some won't make it. In fact, 1 in 5 that come to Cape May will not graduate.
Sometimes we send people home because they don't meet our standards, either for physical fitness or for a knowledge or skill.
So this captain, I don't know if it's Captain Gibbons. It might be, because it just sounds so familiar. But when I was going through boot camp, I got caught running with the guidon during colors. It was my first time. I never ran with the guidon before, so I was like really, really nervous. And they said, "Hey, Seaman Recruit Miyata, go get the guidon." So I go run and get it, and then I'm running, and I didn't even realize colors was playing, because I was just like so nervous. And the captain saw me running outside. He was standing in front of the command office, and he sees me running with the guidon, and he calls up my CCs, and he's like, "Hey, one of your recruits was running during colors." So my CC comes up to me. He's like, "Were you running during colors?" I was like, "Yes, petty officer, whoever." And then that night, so they don't do anything, but that night, all the CCs get into the barracks, or not the barracks, into the sleeping quarters, and they're just like dumping everybody's backpacks, and they're like somebody was writing notes or something, and they're flipping through everybody's notebooks trying to get somebody to confess. I don't know if that was true or not, but the base, I think it was like the battalion commander or like It was the Master Chief CC, and he was like in charge of all the other CCs. He comes up to me and he's drilling me. He's like, "What's this thing? What's this thing? What's this thing?" And I get everything, all the knowledge-based questions. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. He walks away. I'm just thinking, man, I got my stuff down. I felt good. And then another CC comes up. He's like, "Oh, weren't you running during colors? Yeah, you're getting reverted." And just like that, I was sent back. So, thank you, Captain.
Skills-based issue, and occasionally folks ask to disenroll. Very often they express that they're overawed by the job and the responsibility of it, and it's more than they
That's
expected.
the whole length that you swim.
Responsibility
Just like that side to that
and
side.
discipline. And that carries into every aspect of this program, from marching, how they stow their packs,
All right, funny thing about stowing packs, you actually have to have someone that's designated for like backpack or rucksack watch, and for the guns, the non-guns. And I actually never got picked because it was always like the person before that was the person on watch that picked the next person, at least when we went. And I fortunately never got picked. And I would hate to be the person that got picked for that, because one, you have to eat really, really quickly to go relieve the other person. And then two, you're the only person that gets up out of your seat, and you have to cross all the CCs. So, usually what happens is like everybody gets up and crosses the CC's table kind of like in a single file line, but there's so many people that are going, it's like you can kind of scurry on by maybe and hopefully not get noticed. But when you're the only person that has to get up and you have to go relieve this person, like, it's a lot of anxiety. Like you just don't want to get caught, and the CCs are looking at you. They're like, all right, this person's getting up, and I feel like they always drilled that person. So yeah, hopefully that's not you.
and the precision in the way they enter the mess hall. But you might think that chow time would be a break for the recruits. It's not.
I can't hear you! Get on, run
She just wanted soup.
Not right now!
Just taking everything out of his pockets. Like that.
Coming out of the galley is one of the most intense parts of recruit training. It's where they put the most pressure on you, and
Happy they all were.
it's where they're screaming at you the most. They scream at you the most in the times you would feel comfort.
Grab your eyeballs at me! Another tracker for trying to get around Sanso!
If you see all the people in the background, they're sprinting because they don't want to get caught by someone.
Talking to me!
They just take your
Of course,
food.
like any
Snap,
branch of the
snap.
military, the Coast Guard puts immense pressure on these young people. This is in the form of physical exertion and largely mental
You
challenges.
see the people in the life jackets. This isn't those people are in what is called a ramp. And ramp, when I went, it used to be an hour long session a night, and they'd give it out like ramp candy. So like if you did something, you'd get ramp. Almost like if you got a performance tracker, which is like what they use to track what you've been doing wrong, they'd also send you to ramp. I went to ramp like 15 times because I got called out a lot. But now it's pretty bad. They send you to a ramp company, and you're there for like a week. And from what I've heard, like most people that get sent to ramp, after the ramp, they evaluate you. And if you don't pass the evaluation, you get reverted. And I would much rather just like revert me on the spot. Don't send me to ramp, because when they send you to ramp, they beat you nonstop. It's just like all day physical activity, and you have to wear these life jackets, and you get pulled away from your company, and hopefully if you're lucky you get pulled back in. Plus you also have to know like all your required knowledge stuff. And you get like a lot less time to study because they're beating you a lot more. So yeah, I feel bad for the people that have to go to week-long ramp.
The idea is to prepare them for high-pressure, real-world situations that may determine life or death.
I don't know why that
It may
guy
seem
doesn't have his
cruel,
cover.
but company commanders insist it's for a good reason.
It just gets them
All the
geared
people
up
running in the
mentally
back.
under stress. If they can't operate under stressful conditions, they're not
All
going
right,
to
so
serve
you see the people with
purpose that
the green belts and the red belts. Green belt means you are injured, so you can't do certain workouts. And then red belt means probation, and if you're on
Needs to be
probation,
served out in the fleet.
you have
we
like
never get
3
calls
days.
on good days. We don't get
3 days where they're evaluating you, and they can quiz you, and if you don't pass these evaluations, like rack inspection, uniform inspection, general knowledge stuff, then they can revert you. Green belt, you're just
calls in good
light
weather.
duty, basically.
And I tell you what, if there's anyone that should be able to get underway and drive that ship up a ticks behind in a hailstorm backwards, like the Coast Guard should have that. You can't operate under stressful conditions. This probably isn't the path you need to go. And this system really,
you see the person,
really weeds that out.
There's a person doing paperwork while they're doing all this. I advise you, volunteer to do like the yeoman, or to be like the scheduler or something, because you get out of a lot of stuff, because there's you know, you have to make the schedules and things like that. But if you're that job, you kind of get to skip out on this stuff. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see that part again. Just yeah, like look at this girl. She's just doing the paperwork while everybody else is getting
path you need to go. And this system really really weeds that out.
When you get here, they kind of break your confidence down. Just kind of show your vulnerabilities, but then they bring it back up. You know, in general, it is not, I mean, it's not a wonderful time while you're here. It's not supposed to be, but I can already feel myself, I guess, becoming better and like growing as a person.
It's different than what I've expected. I had friends who are prior military who told me what to prepare for your camp. You're gonna get yelled at a lot, singled out, have to know a lot of things.
Use the hand sanitizer when you go to the
if you can operate as a team,
you get the Cape May crud,
you're never going to be alone
and then you
out
get
in the
sick
field.
for
So as
like
long as you
a
can
month
operate
after
as a
you
team under a
graduate.
stressful
So
condition,
wash your hands,
you'll be just fine.
guys.
It's the night before graduation for Tango Company 194. A chance to relax a bit and poke fun at shipmates and company
Nobody
commanders.
has their blouses.
The award of excellence for most likely to eat leaves off of a tree, awarded to Seaman Recruit Patrick. He was already standing up.
That's really mean. Why would you say
as you
that
walk
that
out,
person's
be
gonna
proud.
eat leaves off a tree?
You are a part of America's, the
hazing, isn't it?
world's greatest Coast Guard. The world's greatest Coast Guard.
Finally, graduation day. For 53 days, these men and women have been challenged, pushed.
See that red building right there? The red building is the small boat station. I think there's also like an ESD on base, and then closer to the water, that pier, those piers, that's where the cutters are.
Tested, and they passed. Now it's their moment to present themselves with a real swagger, a genuine and proud feeling of accomplishment.
I'm a steamroller, baby. Just rolling down the line. Just rolling down the line.
Just rolling down the line.
Radio. From the east to the west. From the east to the west.
From the east to the west, Coast Guard is the best. In A school, at least for ITA school and the ones in Petaluma, you have to sing the cadences. And so you're singing cadences for 6 months. I became pretty familiar with most of them, more so than in boot camp.
This year, the training center is poised to graduate 3,500 recruits.
3,500.
Their days in
one year.
Cape May are just the beginning of their journey.
That's crazy.
And as this
That's like
company
what the
moves on to
Army,
their
Navy,
active
Marines
duty
do in, like, a
assignments
month.
across the United States, a new group will follow right behind.
Just shaking all those hands is giving me, it's making my palms sweaty.
Those are the graduates of Tango 194.
And that's such a good day. Like when you finish and you're out of there and your family can finally see you. My dad and my mom were there. It was such a good day.
I'm glad
I
I've
just
been through that
slept.
stage.
When we got to the hotel,
It's good to have been through that, and like now looking at that, like glad I'm done.
Alright guys, hope you like this video. It's a little bit different than what I usually do, But if you have any other questions about boot camp or questions about the video, leave it in the comments section down below. Like I said, guys, consider subscribing. This channel is all about giving you the best military tips and money-saving hacks. Got a lot more awesome videos coming shortly. So, till next time, guys, peace out.